Hello and welcome to another video by me, Catherine. So today we're making hand-painted tote bags, and we're actually making 4 of them. So this is just going to be a really quick 3-step process of how to really make these. So first step is to draw them out. So what I'm using is a water-based marker. It's actually an Elmer's brand marker, and it's great because it will just draw directly on the tote bags, and I think it's acrylic, so it will like not wash off. That's the hope. I haven't actually washed one of these yet, but I've made quite a few of them. So I'm doing 4 bags to get ready for a art show that I was actually doing the very next day. Right? No, 2 days later. 2 days later I was doing it, but so I was a little bit behind in my life, but you know, that's how I normally do things. But this actually is the centaur from the 3 marker challenge that I did. There is a video on here that has that one, and like there's not a whole lot of process, or like there's not a whole lot of explanation of where it came from. It was sort of just like I liked it and then I drew it. I was just like looking for, I think, just subject matter on Google or something like that, and then I ended up just choosing that for my subject, and just outlining the thicker areas, the areas that I want to be thicker, I guess, like the geometric part in this thing, Elmer's marker. And then I'll switch here to the smaller one, and I had to open it because it was my first time using it. And you could actually see the drawing on there first, because I had drawn this out probably weeks ago, honestly. I just transferred it with like graphite paper, and that was before I got my light box, I think. And it was just such a pain, and it was really hard to see it, but you know, hard to see like the image because it just gets dirty, and I just didn't like doing that. So you'll see me use the light box, and I actually, oh my gosh, like using the light box has been such, I don't know, it's just been such a, it's just so cool to have a light box, okay? It's just really cool, and I'm really happy to have it because it saves me so much time. I don't have to use graphite paper. There's no mess, you know. Actually, this tablet is a Huon. I think that's how you say it. There's also a video, an Amazon unboxing, where I opened this and I got it out of the box, and it will tell you like every kind of like all the specifications or whatever. I think I go into that. I'm not sure. Maybe I just like show a picture of it, of the light box. Love it. So this actually, these flamingos came from a show that I was, exhibition that I was showing in at the Atlanta Zoo. So I actually did 5 paintings in 2 weeks, and this was one of the paintings, and it was so strange because I didn't really put like the thought. I thought it was awesome. It's perfect levers. It's 2 flamingos like necks that form the shape of hands, like the heart, and then the hands behind it form a heart. It's like perfect levers, and then it's also like the homage to Felix Gonzalez Torres, who did the perfect levers clocks, which is why I titled that. But there's not a whole lot of process. The only process I have of any of those paintings, oh, my head's in the way. Nice frizzy hair. The only process painting I have, oh my gosh, it's really badly in the way, that I have of any of those art gone wild things from the zoo are on Instagram. So if you came here from Instagram, you've probably seen them. If you came here from random searching for, I don't know what, something weird, because I'm weird, you can go check out my Instagram and see where all those came from. This is an iceberg that I drew actually in preparation for one of the paintings that I was making. It was a polar bear geometric. It's a big 12 by 48 painting, and it has a purple polar bear on it. And so I was learning how to draw the geometric icebergs like this. So this actually came from my sketchbook, and I just really liked it. And I've actually sold this tote bag already once. So I was just making up another one. You'll see there's like tiny little dots in the middle. Those are numbers. When I used to have to transfer these images with graphite paper, I didn't know like where I was, so I would do numbers. So I would just like fill in the entire triangle and then one, then the next triangle, and that's the second one, and I had to go all the way through. I think there was like 130 something triangles in this. That's not actually that bad if you think about it, because it's not too big, but yeah. And then this guy came from the elephant train, which is actually a design that I made for tote bags initially, specifically for tote bags. And then I made, like, traced it out, and then I used, again, using tracing paper. Oh my gosh, I can make more. Okay, so it's a stencil that I made out of just like some plastic stuff that I got from Blick or Binders or something. And I just used an X-Acto knife to make all those little triangles come out. Not necessarily triangles, like some of them are like just polygons, but I just realized that I can make more of these because I don't have to transfer them anymore. I can just do directly on, like, I can just draw it and then on the light box. Oh my gosh, my life is so much better now that I have this thing. Seriously, the possibilities have opened up. If you don't have one, there's no reason not to have one. If you've drawn it, like I've drawn this already once, I know how to draw it. I can trace it. No one's telling me not to. Alright, so here's the next step. It's actually going to be applying gesso so that you can get ready to paint. So those are the 4 materials that you need. You need the gesso, clear gesso, it's by Liquitex. You need a paintbrush. Whoa, step 2. Okay, you need a paintbrush that I actually just use for my acrylic. I should probably get another one just for the gessoing. Wow, this is going so fast. Okay, okay. Paintbrush, and that's the paper that it is. It's palette paper. It's actually for oil paint, but you can use it really for anything. And then that Liquitex clear gesso, which is also like a blessing, and it dries clear, so you can see the canvas underneath. Because I don't fill in. You'll see later. I don't fill in every single polygon with paint, and it also just preps the canvas so that the paint doesn't go. You know, it makes it less absorbent. Or I don't know how gesso works. It just works like gesso, okay? And that canvas bag works like canvas, okay? It just works like that. I don't know why, but that's what you're supposed to do with canvas. You're painting on it, okay? You gesso it. Okay? That's just the rule. I'm not going to ask questions. I'm not going to contrast. Oh, I guess you didn't see me drawing the hands, but they're there. So here's the thing. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know. I'm just like going so fast. It's like really hard to keep up with this. This is like such a fast video because it's so long. 14 minutes actually made it 14 minutes long, and it's 100 and, no, it's not 100. It's an hour and 42 minutes. Is that all the footage that I had? That's not as long as it took. It actually took longer because I cut out a bunch when I was, you know, videotaping, because I had to like charge the battery and all this stuff and whatever. So the elephant looks really nice. I think there's not really anything else I have to say about him. Yeah, that one's pretty easy. Oh, okay. Well, when you're applying the gesso, just make sure you do it pretty quickly. And the reason being is that you will smear it, because I didn't do this exactly. Technically I wait like till the next day after inking it before doing the gesso, because you can smear the ink. But I'm actually thinking about switching to an oil-based marker so that I don't smear it anymore. So step 3 is painting, and I had to cut out a bunch, like I didn't get to film a bunch of it because the battery died. So here's, I've actually had already done 2 before I even started filming, but I show those later, like at the end of this. So yes, and you'll see that I'm using 2 colors. It's like that light blue and that dark blue, and it's just regular acrylic, you know, craft paint, honestly. And like the navy is, and like I think that neon is like from Target or something. It's like for fabric painting, not really, but you know, actually that's a really good idea. I should get some fabric paint. Oh my gosh, I work at Blick now. Like I can sell those. Like I sell them. I could probably buy that for myself. What a great idea! Yes, so many good ideas from watching this video. So I used 2 colors and I just like meshed them together. There's really not an easy way to explain how to do this. It's just you have to use a lot of water. I do water them down. You have to use a good amount of water, and you have to use the right amount of paint, because you don't want too much water because then the canvas will show through, but you don't want too much paint because then it won't mesh, especially because you're using 2 different brands. The one on the bottom is the craft paint, and then like the color on the top is like that it's Target, but I think it is Martha Stewart. It is Martha Stewart, but it's like a different brand. So for them to be able to actually mesh, you have to get it just right. And I don't really care at this point, like with the smaller lines, like I'm not really, I'm eating peanuts. I'm not really going in too much don't like really care too much about like getting it direct, like perfectly inside the lines, because I go back over those black lines again, like after it all dries. And you have to wait for it to dry. So actually, I think this is probably day 2 of working on this. It's actually light outside, I think, is what's happening. And oh, there's me spraying water. It's actually a water thing that I use. Oh, it's so bright, it's hard to see, but I love how that. Okay, so my battery died, but I had to start over, and I'm already talking really fast again. Okay, let's do it. Alright, so I just like the way that the paint looks, but it goes really fast. Okay. This one, I totally gave up on trying to stay inside the lines, and I just said fuck it and just did everything. And so later, actually, I was at the craft show, and I brought the bags, and I brought the marker with me so that I can like go back over the lines, so it looked like I had something to do, and it was awesome. I did really well that day. I sold a bunch of prints, and I didn't sell any bags, but I normally do. I normally sell like one bag and then a little bit of prints, but I basically just sold a ton of prints and a couple of originals. And I got a commission. I'll have to talk more about that later. It's kind of exciting. Yeah, so I think this is really the end of it. What time am I at? 11 minutes or so? Probably. I can kind of slow down and like relax because there's not anything else I have to like force down your throat. But yeah, painting is really fun. This is the fun part. Just like it's basically just color by numbers or fill in the, you know, just like a coloring book at this point. So this one actually I used 4 different colors. I used that light blue on the top right, that tan, the ice blue, and like that navy blue. I used all 4, and I really, really, really love the results, how that looked. That looks so good. Man, I'm actually in a hotel in Tennessee right now, and I don't have a picture of the final because, like I said, I was at the craft show when I was working on it, so I didn't. It's not a craft show. I was in the artist market. I was at the art stroll in Castleberry Hill. That's right. It was awesome. Yeah, it was so cool. It's down in Atlanta, so it's kind of cool. Pretty proud of myself. I'm literally, every time I've been the only artist from the artist market there, because they're just starting it up. But yeah, that's really neat. There's also a couple pictures of me just like my table set up, the way that it looks, usually the same, on Instagram. So check that out. Oh yeah. This one was just so much fun. I was just like, I don't care if I could keep being in lines anymore. It was probably so late. It was like probably 2 o'clock in the morning or something, and I was like so tired. I was just like, I just want to get it done. But I think the lack of control and the lack of like the carefreeness, I guess, instead of lack of something, it's just carefree. I think I'll call it carefreeness. Actually turned out really nice. And I do like the way that it looks when like you have a little bit of paint just like seeping out, when you have those like crisp lines over it, you know what I mean? It looks really intentional. It looks really cool. So, and then you'll see me also spritzing. I do all 4 colors when I spritzed it afterwards. I just like the way that looks too, and it just looks cool. Okay, it just looks cool, and I like it. It's just a good choice to do that. So I start at the tan, and then I go to the next lightest, and then the next lightest, and then I do the darkest at the end of all the spritzes. So I'll show you that, and then here's what the other looks like, the other ones that I finished. Okay, maybe I'm a little bit ahead of myself. I showed them at the end. I show the flamingo, and then I show the centaur at the end, so you get to see what those look like. So, if there's I know I'm going to have some more videos coming up. Here's the colors choices that I did for the flamingo. That's the Martha Stewart, neon paint. I think it's Martha Stewart. I don't know. Maybe it's just Target brand. I think it is, actually. But anyway, thanks so much. If you made it this far, I love you. Buy one of my totes. I should put these on Etsy. That would be really cool. I should do that. I didn't think about that. What was I thinking? I don't know. But anyway, have a wonderful evening, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!